and welcome to this 30-minute intro to yoga practice. It is such a great time to jump on the yoga bandwagon in the middle of a lockdown because there's extra stress. We're dealing with a lot of change and probably spending a lot more time on technology than we're used to. So this is a practice for anybody and everybody to give yoga a try, to include yoga in your day. And you might find that you sleep better after doing this practice, that you have less aches and pains. We're really going to focus on the low back today. And hopefully you're breathing a little bit better and you feel a little more energetic after the practice as well. You don't need anything. You don't have to have fancy yoga clothes. You don't need any props, but I would suggest an area that is clear. So I have a cleared out area here. If you have a yoga mat, it'll be helpful. And I just have a blanket to sit on to support my pelvis. So press pause, grab those things. Having some water handy would be really nice as well. And join me for this yoga practice. So I have my blanket neatly folded, and I'm just gonna sit on the front edge of the blanket. If you have a yoga bolster or a thicker cushion to sit on, go for it. That'll probably feel pretty nice as well. But we'll find a comfortable cross-legged seat. And this opening breath work can also be done sitting in a chair or even laying down if that's more comfortable for you. So we'll cross one shin in front of the other. Your ankles are in line with your belly button, your center. And you can just rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. Check in with your energy. If you're feeling really flighty, like you've been going, press your palms down on your knees or thighs just as a gesture of grounding. And if you're tired, if you actually need a little bit of a boost of energy, flip your palms up and you're in more of a gesture of receiving some positive energy. If you're neither here nor there, or you need a bit of both, one palm down, one palm up. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth as a centering breath. And then if your nasal passages are clear, close the mouth and start to breathe in and out through the nose. So I'll introduce a 3-part yoga breath that is a really great breath for grounding, a really great breath for centering your energy, and also calming down the sympathetic nervous system. So it's a de-stress breath. When you breathe in through the nose, send the breath right down into the belly, so the belly inflates. Feel the breath rise up into the rib cage and even peek up into the chest and the heart space. As you exhale, you'll feel the breath leave the chest, leave the ribs, and leave the belly. So your own rhythm, your own flow, you don't have to follow mine. Inhale to fill the belly, feel your belly expand 3-dimensionally, front, side, and back. Feel the rib cage expand, and then breathe right into the chest and the heart. As you exhale, heart softens, ribs soften, belly softens. Try a few more rounds of that 3-part breath on your own. Never forced. And then one more breath in and out. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, sit a little taller. And as you exhale, really gently, lower your left ear towards your left shoulder. And you want to feel the right side of the neck get a gentle stretch. And then rotate your nose down, almost like you're going to smell your left armpit, which is a little silly, but really helpful for stretching out a muscle that connects your shoulder blade to the back of your skull. It's probably pretty tight if you've been looking at a screen or been on a computer. One more breath. And then inhale, bring the head back up to center. Exhale, release softly, right ear towards your right shoulder. Don't let that left shoulder pop up. Keep it soft. Stretching out the left side of the neck, and then really gently rotate your nose, almost like you're looking down towards your right armpit. Stretching out levator scapula there on the left side. And then inhale, come on back to center. And we'll warm up the shoulders and the back with an easy breathing flow. So hands come together in front of the heart. Inhale, take a breath in and out just for you, for your energy, for your vitality, for your sanity. And then inhale, sit a little taller. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, tuck the chin, and round out your upper back. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift the chin, look up, open the throat, and start a really gentle sway side to side. And you'll feel a stretch creep into the side waist, spreading out the ribs a little bit. One more breath into center. And exhale, release your arms. They're actually going to come behind your back, interlace your fingers back there, and then open up through the chest. And I'll show you what that looks like from the side. If this is too much for your shoulders or your wrists, instead just bring your fist to the waist. Draw your elbows back like wings, Wonder Woman arms. Good, take a breath in and out there. It's a chest stretch. Lift the chin, open the throat a little bit as well, front of the throat. And then exhale, release hands back. Just press your palms together in the center of your chest. This is just a gesture of finding your center line, finding your equilibrium, finding some balance. And then take a breath in and out. And this breath is for someone else, dedicating some vitality, some energy, some sanity to a friend, a teacher, a student, a coworker. And then inhale, sit a little taller. Exhale, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, round out your spine, tucking your chin towards your chest. Inhale, reach up, press your palms to the sky. This time get a little longer, a little taller. And then exhale, release your hands behind your back. If you're interlacing your fingers, find the awkward grip so the other thumb is on top. Stretch out the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Or those Wonder Woman arms if your wrists or your shoulders don't like this. And then gently release. And you can bring your hands onto your knees or thighs. Let's stretch out the left leg. Left forearm comes onto the left thigh. Inhale, reach your right arm up. And as you exhale, a soft side bend. So you're breathing into the right side of your body, breathing some space between the ribs. See what it feels like to draw your right elbow and your right shoulder back. So you're bending your elbow and look up. And then soften into that side stretch and look down towards your left knee. Inhale, draw the right elbow back, look up. And exhale, really gently soften your gaze towards your left knee, straightening out your right arm, leaning forward a little bit there. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, just getting into the upper back, getting into the shoulder and the chest a little bit. 2 more. Inhale, right elbow comes back, look up. Exhale, side stretch. And 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rainbow over to the other side. Plant the right hand, reach the left arm up. And then rainbow the left arm over, plant the hand, right arm stretches up and over. And see if you can place your hand on the floor in a different position each time. So you're stretching out the side body, getting into a muscle in the low back called the quadratus lumborum. It can be a bit pesky when it comes to back pain. And just find this windmill side to side to get into the low back a little bit. 1 more each way. And then inhale back to center. Both arms come up. Just turn the chest. So you're pointing your chest, the center of your chest, towards your left knee, and fold any amount. So you might have hands on the floor just to act as brakes. You might have hands on your left shin. Maybe you even reach for your foot. You see what feels good for you, and breathe. One more breath in and out here. And then inhale, slide your way up, bend the left knee so the soles of the feet join. So this can be quite a stretch for the inner thigh and the groins. Keep the knees just gently lifted. If you have yoga blocks or blankets or pillows to put under the knees, if this is pretty intense, you can do that, or just slide the feet forward a little bit. So you find a position here that works for you. And then really gently circle your spine. This movement is so small, so don't feel like it has to be a grand movement, just little circles. And then slow it down and circle the other way. One more time. Find the first rotation direction there. And then reverse it other way. Okay, so let's do the same thing on the other side. Keep the left knee hugged in, stretch out the right leg. And just this position, you might feel a stretch in the inner thigh or in the hamstring, in the back of the thigh. Right forearm onto the right thigh. Inhale, reach the left arm up, and exhale, a soft side bend. So you're lengthening out the left side of the body, creating some space there in the ribs for deeper breath. And then gently bend the left elbow, pull the left elbow back and gaze up. That's your inhale. And then exhale, side body stretch. Look down towards the right knee. Inhale, left shoulder comes back, gaze up. You're opening the left pectoral here, the left side of the chest, front of the shoulder. Exhale, side stretch. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open up, brighten the chest, even the heart. Exhale. Last one. And then inhale, rainbow over to the other side. Plant the left hand, right side arm reaches up and stretch. And then windmill over to the other side. And every time you plant your hand, try to explore a new space. And that's going to get into different areas in the waist, the obliques, which are your abdominal muscles at the sides there, and into the low back. Should never feel any pain. And just going to a stretch level where you feel some sensation, not overstretching, never pushing, never forcing. So let's do one more each way. Last one. And then inhale, both arms come up here, reach. And as you exhale, turn your heart, turn the center of your chest, your sternum, towards your right knee and fold any amount. So you can have hands on your right thigh or your right shin. You can bring your hands to the floor, maybe to your foot. You see what feels good for you. And just soften your upper back. Let your chin tuck a little bit, lengthening out the back of your neck. And of course, breathe. And breathe intentionally and try not to hold your breath with any of the poses. Inhale, we'll make our way back up. Stretch out both legs. And this is where it is nice to have a blanket underneath your sit bones, underneath the base of the pelvis. You can have your hands behind you to help keep your spine nice and long, or you can start to walk your hands in front of you, maybe even coming down onto the elbows. And with this wide-legged seated stretch, it's really so different body to body, what feels good. So hands behind you is just perfect, especially if you'd like to lift and lengthen through the spine. Or you can bring the hands forward, any amount. Just a few more breaths here. Make sure your knees point straight up to the ceiling. Gentle engagement at the ankles. So don't let your ankles be floppy, just a little bit of dorsiflexion, where you gently pull the ankles towards, or your toes, sorry, towards your knees. One more breath. And then you can press your way up. Just bring your hands to the backs of your knees. It's nice to give them a little help to come up. And we're going to reposition. We'll come onto hands and knees in a tabletop shape. So if bearing weight on your knees is not comfortable for you, I'll show you an option for this against a wall or even against a desk or a dresser. We'll come onto hands and knees, the quadruped position, and move through some flexion and extension through the spine. So if you have a sore low back or you need to strengthen your core, this is really one of the first exercises you'll be given to get some mobility in your back. On hands and knees, inhale to lift the chin, lift the tailbone, and gently arch your entire spine, like an upside down rainbow. And then as you exhale, press into the hands, tuck your chin to your chest, and tuck your tailbone under, rounding through your spine like a rainbow, like a Halloween cat. And then reverse it. Inhale, extending through your spine, gently lifting the chin. Exhale, round out, cat stretch. So in yoga, this is called the cow pose and the cat stretch. And just try a few more rounds. This movement is very small. You're not looking for end range movement in flexion and extension here. We're just warming up the entire length of the spine. And then inhale, come to neutral. So you're just on hands and knees. Sit your hips back and rest in child's pose. So you can rest your forehead on your hands, or you can stack your fists like you're doing the mashed potato. And just rest here. If you have really tight knees and this deep flexion, this deep bend in the knees doesn't feel good for you, you can lift the hips a little bit and rest on your elbows. Both of these shapes should feel like a rest. It should feel like you can breathe into your back, the back of the ribs. Just a few more rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, make your way back up to that hands and knees shape. And we'll just do a little bit of work for the core. So press into the hands, sleeve the spine with support. So you want to imagine that from all sides, you're just gently contracting the muscles of your core, in the front, in the sides, and in the back. And then we'll press into the hands, make sure the knees are under hips, tuck your left toes under, and keeping your hips level and your shoulders level, slide your left leg out so it's fully extended. And then reach your right arm forward. So this is an extended table position, a core strengthener that's nice and safe for the low back. Breathe here, keeping your shoulders and your hips level. Belly button drawing up towards your spine, and muscles from the sides and the back also engaged to support your spine. One more breath. And then gently release the hand, comes back under the shoulder, and the knee comes back. And you can just wag an imaginary tail side to side here, just to release the low back. And we'll try the same thing on the other side. So on this hands and knees position, obviously shoulders aligned over your wrists, knees under your hips. Tuck your right toes under, slide your right leg out, and then reach your left arm forward. My left thumb is up, pinky down. Shoulders are level, hips are level. And engage your core. Make sure you can breathe. So you can feel that your abdominals are strong and engaged from the front, side, and back. One more breath. And then release the hand, release the knee. Just a side to side action through the pelvis. So it's like you're wagging an imaginary tail. And then just sitting back on the heels for a moment, if that's okay, or you can keep the hips lifted. And I'll introduce downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is not a great pose if you've had a shoulder injury, if you have sensitive wrists. So I'll show you a few different options. The first option is right here on the mat. So you'll plant your hands and spread your fingers out like rays of the sun. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and press into the hands to press your thighs back. Your ears are in line with your upper arms. If that feels like a lot of pressure on the shoulders or it's really tight on the backs of your thighs, bend your knees, walk your hands back to your feet, rest your elbows on your thighs, deepen the knee bend a little bit, just take a breath. And then press into your hands and come all the way up. And you can do that dog pose against a wall. So I'm pressing my hands against the wall, backing up my feet until my body looks like an L shape with my legs and my torso. My ears again can line up with my upper arms, and you can take a few breaths in and out there. So downward dog on the floor or downward dog against the wall is going to stretch out your lats. It's going to stretch out your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, and really get into your calves and the soles of the feet as well with a nice stretch. It's really a nice pose if you're sitting a lot. So enjoy a few breaths there. You might even take a break and then join back in and try the pose again. If you did your downward dog on the floor, transition to standing and try it against a wall. What's so great about downward dog against the wall is you get the hamstring stretch, the calf stretch, little stretch for the plantar fascia, and it's a great remedy for sitting. So you can do it anytime against a wall, even if you don't have a yoga mat and you can't get on the floor. One more breath. And then make your way to the center of your mat. And we'll get a great refresher with some sun salutations. So your feet will be just about hip width apart. Arms are at your sides. Stand tall. Lift all 10 toes and then look down to see that the medial arches of your feet are engaged. After that engagement, we'll let the toes come back towards the floor. Inhale, circle the arms up and gaze up. Palms touch overhead. That works for your shoulders. And then with soft knees, fold forward. You can bring your hands to the floor, or you can just rest your elbows on your knees. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. So you're going to find some length and brightness through your entire spine. And then exhale, fold again. Inhale, press into the heels, circle up, gaze up. And exhale, your arms can come back down to your sides. So lots of variations here. Find one that works for you. Inhale, circle the arms as you reach up and look up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Fingertips come to the floor, or you can just rest your elbows on your knees. Inhale, lengthen your spine and brighten, whatever that looks like. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, strong legs, reach up, palms touch overhead. And you can release your hands back down to your sides. One more time. Inhale, circle. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen and brighten your spine. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, rise up. Big circle with the arms. And exhale, you can release your arms back towards your sides. So your big toes can touch now. A little bit of space between your heels. Reach your arms forward as you imagine sitting back in a chair. This is really great for just getting the biomechanics of squatting. So big toes touch, little space between the heels, sitting the hips back, reaching your arms up. So you want to get some flexibility there in your ankles, some flexibility here in the low back, a little bit of a hip hinge, and then just gaze straight forward. If you find that this stance is hard on the knees or for balance, just take the feet hip width apart. And if there's any sensitivity in the shoulders, you can bring your arms just into this bent I Dream of Jeannie position, or even to the waist. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, straighten out the legs. So practice a little bit of balance, which is always really grounding and centering, tree pose. So pour the weight of your body into your left foot. You can bring your hands to your waist. Draw your right knee up, hip height. And then open your knee out to the right and place the sole of your right foot clearly below your left knee. So we never want any lateral pressure on the knee joint ever. Some of you that have the range or the flexibility can bring the right foot clearly above the left knee. But for today, keeping the right foot below the knee is just perfect. And then your hands can come together just to signify this balance in your center line. So if you need to hold on to a wall or even a chair for support, go for it. See if you can get a little taller, a little longer through the entire length of your spine. And don't worry if you need to shift your balance, reposition, and come into the tree pose again. You might notice your ankle muscles are starting to fatigue. That's okay. Another breath in and out. And then we'll bring the right knee back to center and lower it down. You might want to transfer your weight side to side a few times. And then bring your feet back to center. Pour the weight of your body into your right foot. Left knee comes up. And then open the left knee to the side. Just place the sole of your left foot clearly below your right knee. Hands pressed together at the center of the line for balance, for support. And take a few breaths here in your tree pose. Just letting whatever will be, will be. You might lose your balance and have to put your left foot down. Try again. And then one more breath in and out here. Good, left knee back to center and lower. And maybe just shifting your weight a few times here, side to side. And as you shift your weight, take your feet a lot wider. All 10 toes point straight forward. If you stretch your arms out, your feet are almost as wide as your wingspan from wrist to wrist. So for me, I'm a little narrower than that. You don't want to feel like Bambi on ice, like you're going to slip. But get a nice wide stance so that you can feel a stretch in the inner thighs and the hamstrings when we fold. So standing tall, inhale to reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold. And just bring your fingertips to the floor underneath your shoulders. This is when it can be nice to have a short stool or some traditional yoga blocks, especially if you have really tight hamstrings. But don't worry, you can do this one against the wall as well, if that's too deep of a stretch for you. Stepping the feet nice and wide, and then finding that same downward dog variation against the wall with bent elbows, or you can back it up and do it with straight arms. So you see what feels good for you. You'll feel a stretch in your hamstrings, which are the backs of your thighs. Might even feel a stretch in the outer ankles and in the inner thighs. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Bring your hands to your hips, strong back, strong core. Come all the way up. We'll lift the right toes, spin on the right heel to point your right toes to the right. And the left big toe points towards the right a little bit as well. Bend into your right knee and try not to lean your body to the right. Bring your shoulders right back over your hips. Your right knee will point straight to the right over the middle toes. So don't let your right knee lean forward. And then stretch your arms out. This is called Warrior Two. Turn to gaze beyond your right fingertips. And breathe. This pose teaches you to be in the moment. You can even repeat to yourself this mantra, present moment, wonderful moment. Exactly where I am right now is where I'm supposed to be. One more breath in and out. then flip the right palm up, bring your left hand to your waist, reach your right arm up and over, stretching out the right side body, maybe looking down beyond the left elbow, or gazing up beyond the right elbow. One more breath. And then inhale back through center, right forearm onto your right thigh. Guide your left shoulder and your left elbow back and gaze up. This is called side angle pose. Really nice opener for the left side of the chest. One more breath in and out. On exhale, you can look down towards your right toes. And inhale to straighten out that right leg. And we're just going to tick-tock the feet. So the exact stance we had on the other side. Now left foot points to the left. Bend the left knee. And make sure the left knee tracks over the middle toes. It doesn't lean in or forward towards the right big toe, the left big toe. And then shoulders over hips. Instead of leaning left, float the arms up. Second warrior pose, gazing beyond your left fingertips. Just repeating to yourself as you breathe in, present moment. As you breathe out, wonderful moment. Flip the left palm up, right hand to right side waist. Reach the left arm up and over, stretching out left side body. Still keeping that left knee bent. And then inhale through center, left forearm onto the left thigh. Bring your right hand to your waist, draw the right shoulder and the right elbow back, and look up. So you're taking your right side ribs and just rolling them back. Side angle pose. One more breath in. Exhale, look down to the left toes. And inhale to come back up. Square all 10 toes straight forward, and then just heel toe the feet in. So the feet are underneath you. Find something that you can use for support, like the back of a chair, like a desk, like a dresser or a wall, and then reach back for an ankle. My right hand is finding my right ankle for a quad stretch. A lot of sitting makes the quads really tight, especially the longest quad muscle, the rectus femoris, that also crosses the hip joint. So stand tall, knee in line with the same side hip, same side shoulder. You're standing in poise for that quad stretch. If you can't grab onto your ankle, grab a strap, a dog leash, a tie or a belt, and just loop it around the ankle and hoist it up. Sometimes the knees feel really tight and it's hard to just grab the ankle like this. One more breath in and out. When you feel ready, switch. Other side. So my left hand finds my left ankle. My left knee, hip, and shoulder are in line, and I'm standing in poise. Sometimes we do really weird things when we get into a quad stretch. Let's keep it nice and aligned. And then before we come to the mat, a calf stretch. So you can do this standing, just a standing calf stretch, traditional like gym class stretch at the end of class. Or you can stretch out your calves in downward dog. So you can pedal out through the heels and get a nice calf stretch this way too. So you see which one feels best for you. And then when you're ready, let's make our way back to the mat. So you can come to sit. It's really important in yoga, anytime you're going to transition onto your back, to do it in a sideways slide. So you're not straining your abdominals or your back. So just slide onto your side, roll onto your back. I have a blanket underneath the back of my head for support here. And knees are bent, heels are really close to the sit bones. All 10 toes point forward, so don't turn the feet out duck-footed, and rest your arms at your sides. Press into your feet, inhale, lift your hips, lengthen out your low back. This contracts your glutes and your hamstrings. Exhale, lower back down. Your nose points straight up to the sky, so try not to do anything weird with your neck here. Don't turn side to side and don't tuck the chin. Press into the feet. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down. And just try a few of these, your own pace, your own rhythm. Might be a little slower, a little faster than mine. This is a really nice remedy for sitting as well, and helps to wake up lazy glute muscles that have been overstretched in a seated position all day. So let's find one more of those. And then let your pelvis settle back onto the mat. You might widen your feet as wide as a yoga mat, and then just let your knees knock in towards each other. This is called the constructive rest position. Really great release for your deep hip flexors, and it helps to support people with low back pain or sensitivity there. If it's okay for you, instead, you can stretch out your legs. And this is a typical Shavasana position in yoga. It's a resting pose at the end of class. A little treat you give yourself to restore your energy, recover, heal. So as you settle into your Shavasana, make sure you're comfortable. Close down your eyes and reconnect to your breath. Try to breathe in and out through your nose. And come back to that 3-part breath that we practiced at the start of class. On your next inhale, fill the belly. Feel the breath move up to fill out the ribs and peek up into the chest and the heart. As you exhale, soften the chest, soften the ribs, soften the belly. So take a moment here just to notice the effects of your yoga practice. And some of the benefits of practicing yoga are that we get a chance to clear our mind and de-stress. We get to balance out poor posture. But we can also improve our balance, our flexibility, our coordination. And you'll notice you usually feel pretty good after a yoga practice as well. You can stay here as long as you like in Shavasana in rest. I would actually recommend putting on your favorite song, a song that brings you joy, that makes you happy, a song that helps you feel peaceful and relaxed, or a song that boosts your mood, and enjoy that in your Shavasana. Please feel free to do this practice anytime you need a body break, anytime you just need to stretch, you need to move. And I'm thinking of you all, our Mustang family, and hope to see you in a few weeks.